Thank you. Welcome to BBC London. Coming up this Monday evening, tributes are paid to 43-year-old Lisa Smith, the victim of a fatal shooting outside a pub in Kent. We hear from the local community.
The word that I've heard from every single person that I've spoken to has been shock. That deep sense of shock and also unbelief, unreality.
Also ahead on the programme. It's emerged that a fire which ripped through a luxury hotel was caused by wood falling from a pizza oven. Plus,
I hope that it can provide inspiration for at least one person out there to just continue chasing their dreams.
the London Olympian hoping to inspire others as she talks to us about living with MS and her hopes for another medal. And veterans come together at the Royal Albert Hall ahead of the 80th anniversary of VE Day. Good evening to you. First tonight, it's emerged that a fire which ripped through a luxury hotel in Marylebone was caused by a pizza oven. Around 100 guests were evacuated from the Chiltern Firehouse on Friday evening after the blaze broke out. No one was injured, and the owner of the A-list venue says it'll remain closed until further notice. Matt Graveling has this report.
This wasn't the way London's firefighters had expected to spend their Valentine's Day. That was the message from the owner of this building that went up in flames on Friday the 14th. The fire was tackled from above, aerial ladders being deployed to aim water at the roof as more than 20 engines came together in Marylebone. On the ground, 125 firefighters fought the blaze at this five-star hotel. Last night, it was due to host a BAFTAs after-party event for the streaming giant Netflix. However, at 3 p.m. on Friday, any plans for red carpets were swapped for red hoses. 100 guests were evacuated. At the end of the street, this shop gave free tea to those people who were forced out into the cold.
All of a sudden, smoke started to billow out and we started seeing flames up on the roof, and that's when everyone realised actually this is a lot more serious than we thought. Firefighters and police started to cordon the area off. A lot of people were just crowded around just watching what happened. A lot of people, it was an emotional scene. We had guests, we had staff. Yeah, it was obviously cold, so I thought it'd be a nice idea to just give out tea.
In recent years, the Firehouse has built a reputation as a celeb hangout. Kylie Minogue chose the venue to host her 50th birthday. Taylor Swift visited after she played Wembley last year. Prince Harry has also been spotted there, as has Hollywood royalty, Tom Cruise. But long before it welcomed famous faces, it was firefighters that filled the halls. The Chiltern Firehouse was opened as a hotel and restaurant in 2013. It's on the site of a Victorian fire station first built in 1889. It's a Grade 2 listed building, and in a statement, Historic England said they're very sad to hear what happened here, and they're now going to work with the council to assess the damage and consider the next steps for the building's future. Liam Hackett was stationed in Chiltern Street in the 1970s.
It's been closed, the station, since 2005. When I saw the building on fire on the news, it really did strike a chord with me. It felt as though part of my personal history had been wiped out. It's one of those rare old buildings, Victorian. It was just full of history. It's as if ghosts were walking in front of me. You know, it was a magical place to work.
London Fire Brigade has said that nobody was injured in the blaze and their investigation is ongoing, adding that parts of the ground and second floor were damaged, with the third floor and roof being destroyed. The hotel's owner has said the venue will remain closed until further notice. Matt Graveling, BBC London.
Thanks for being with us here on BBC London. Plenty more to come tonight, including...
We're at a workshop in Battersea, and I'll be telling you why Anne and Keith, Chelsea pensioners, are busy taking apart their famous scarlet uniforms.
And with many people on half-term this week, is the weather playing ball? Well, it's rather chilly up here on a rooftop in central London, but I'll have the full forecast.
More now on the fatal shooting of a woman outside a pub in Kent on Valentine's Day. Tributes have been paid to 43-year-old Lisa Smith. As the police investigation continues, we can join our reporter Vincent McAviney for the latest. Vincent, over to you.
Well, police have confirmed the name of the victim of the Valentine's Day shooting here at the Three Horseshoes pub in Kent as Lisa Smith. She was 43 years old and lived in Slough, and Lisa is survived by 2 sons and a granddaughter. Police have also confirmed that they have found a firearm in an abandoned car on the Queen Elizabeth II bridge, which crosses the Thames near Dartford. It's believed to be the suspected attacker's vehicle. Police say that he is missing and that he was known to the victim. Now, there are reports on Friday night that a man was spotted on the wrong side of the barriers of the bridge and that potentially he entered the water. The police are now searching that area of the Thames. All through the day, though, people have been coming here to lay tribute to Lisa. There are flowers, cards and balloons there, not just from friends and family who paid tribute to a wonderful mother, they said, but also lots of people from the local community who are in shock about what happened in this pub car park. My colleague Sarah Smith has been speaking to some of them.
Forensic searches and police cordons outside the Three Horseshoes pub over the weekend. By today, much of the police focus had moved to the Thames. Somewhere in this expanse of water, they believe they'll find the body of the man who killed Lisa Smith. The 43-year-old from Slough had died where she'd been shot, despite the attempts of those who heard the gunshots and raced to help her. In Knockholt, thoughts were with a family who may never now get the answers they need.
It seems so tragic that she's lost her life. It sounds as if someone else might have lost their life and her family won't have any answers. So how will they ever know what really happened?
The attack took place around 7 p.m. outside the pub where people were gathering for a Valentine's Day dinner. The Dartford crossing is around a 20-minute drive away. Motorists had called police on Friday evening to say a man was on the bridge on the wrong side of the barriers. An abandoned car was found nearby. Inside it, a firearm. Back in the village, the police presence has been scaled back, but not the impact of what happened here.
We were open across the weekend for people to come in and pray or just sit quietly and reflect. We'll be open throughout the week, we always are. And of course, yesterday morning in church, prayers were offered for all those affected, but especially for the family.
Lisa Smith knew her attacker, and she had, according to the landlady of the pub, visited Knockholt on plenty of occasions before. Among the flowers and balloons laid where she died, one was to a wonderful mum. MP for the village Laura Trott said she was devastated by the news and that her thoughts and prayers were with the family and friends impacted. A former chair of the Police Federation, Jan Berry's focus is now on tackling violence against women.
Clearly it's a huge tragedy and, my thoughts go out to her family and her friends. Those people who would have been with her on Friday night and the other people in the vicinity in Knockholt, all of them will have experienced something quite tragic and awful, and all will be coming to terms with that.
While life in this village will get back to normal eventually, life for Lisa Smith's family and friends will never be the same.
That was Sarah Smith reporting there. Let's take a look now at some of the day's other stories. A 21-year-old man from Southend has been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder after a serious assault in Essex yesterday. A man who suffered life-threatening injuries was taken to hospital and is now stable. A woman also suffered non-life-threatening injuries. There were long delays for drivers going northbound on the M1 earlier after sheep got loose on the motorway near Luton. The problems were made worse by a vehicle fire a few junctions ahead. National Highways said the sheep were all herded to a place of safety. Plans to build a new tower block in the City of London are being revised after archaeologists discovered parts of the city's first Roman basilica built over 2,000 years ago underneath the basement. The site's developers hope to eventually open the find up to the public. And you can find more stories on bbc.co.uk/London or on your local BBC website or by using the BBC News app. Next, they are instantly recognisable in their red uniforms, the Chelsea pensioners and British Army veterans who live in the Royal Hospital, Chelsea. Now, some of their old uniforms are being recycled as part of a workshop run by the charity Fine Cell Work that trains prisoners in high-quality needlework skills. And they'll end up as cushions and seating for a garden at this year's Chelsea Flower Show. Wendy Hurrell has the story for us.
Chelsea pensioners at a workshop, merrily destroying their famous scarlet uniforms. Tell me what you're doing here.
Well, literally, I'm just taking some of the lining off one of the sleeves, which I've removed from the jacket. So, it is quite therapeutic. It's the sort of task you can do and talk at the same time, which is, to me, that's important. Just being able to chat as well as work.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not wanton vandalism. The old jackets are being refashioned into cushions. These pensioners know just how precious they are. How long have you been at the hospital?
Oh, I'm very much a new girl.
Are you?
I've only been there since the end of November. So we're talking weeks, not years.
Right, I see. So actually it will be your first Chelsea Flower Show.
Oh, well, everything's a first and everything's very exciting.
Absolutely. And so how does it feel to wear the famous scarlet?
Oh, it's wonderful. You know, I never thought I was able to, but, you know, it's such a privilege and I'm, you know, as soon as you put it on, you're 6 inches taller.
I mean, eventually they're going to be part of a show garden, aren't they?
That's right, and that's really exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing that in the Chelsea Flower Show. And the joy is also going to be the fact that we get to keep it afterwards and all the pensioners can then go and enjoy the garden, you know.
Yes, the London Square Chelsea Pensioners Garden will feature in the show in May before being installed permanently at the Royal Chelsea Hospital. This industrious workshop is being run by a charity that makes beautiful things inside prisons.
The original intention of Fine Cell Work when we first started 26 years ago was to allow prisoners the opportunity to learn a new skill in embroidery and needlework. And about 7 years ago, we created our post-release programme so that those who have stitched with us when they were in prison can join us post-release to continue that support that we offer. We're preparing the pieces here now, and then they're going to go into one of our in-prison production workshops where the men will kind of finish off the product. So they'll put the piping in, they'll make sure that the zips are nice and clean, and then they'll make their way back to us here and we'll make sure that the pads are all inserted.
And all this gives these historic wool garments another life. Wendy Hurrell, BBC London.
We'll check them out at the Chelsea Flower Show later on. And now, still to come before the end of the programme.
Find out why this historic replica is outside this iconic London venue. Here's a clue.
And of course, we'll tell you later. Before that, though, cast your mind back to last summer and those heady days of medal glory at the Paris Olympics. Among them, for Team GB, 28-year-old Lena Nielsen from Leytonstone. Having been diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, as a teenager, she hopes her success can help address misconceptions about the condition. She's been speaking to our sports reporter, Chris Legg.
Paris 2024, Lena Nielsen wins an Olympic medal, 10 years after being diagnosed with MS.
It was just an unreal experience. You know, being at the Olympics was my ultimate dream growing up, but then to go one step further and be stood on the podium and seeing the British flag rise, that was just everything I could have ever dreamed of. I feel like I've gotten everything I've ever wanted.
MS is a condition which sees the body's own immune system attack its nervous system. At times it has forced Lena to stop training and competing altogether.
What sort of message do you hope your achievement can send to the MS community?
I hope that it can provide inspiration for at least one person out there to just continue chasing their dreams. You know, when you get diagnosed with MS, it can feel so hard and it can feel like, you know, life has stopped. It doesn't have to be the case. You can still go for the dreams that you want. It might look a little bit different to your peers now that you've got this diagnosis, but yeah, I hope it it shows people that you can just keep going, keep living life to the fullest.
She hasn't gone flat out through this
In Paris, Lena helped GB qualify for the final of the women's 4x400 metres relay. In the final itself, her identical twin sister Lavia ran the second leg as Team GB won bronze. Lavia found out 3 years ago that she too has MS.
The fact that you and Lavia have had such similar journeys as elite athletes and also both being diagnosed with MS, have you been able to draw strength from each other?
I've definitely been the big sister to my big sister. She's a minute older than me. She got diagnosed 8 years after I did, so when she was 25, she had very minor symptoms, but that got flagged up because of her relation to me. It's a very scary process to receive that diagnosis, and I assured her that it's not so scary, that look what I've done and you can do the same thing, and the power of community is very strong with MS.
Lena has been invited to the House of Commons later this year to discuss support for those with MS. While on the track, she's determined to push on to the 2028 LA Olympics.
Definitely looking to go to LA again. The Olympics are so special. The whole world is watching, and it's just an amazing atmosphere, and I wish everyone could experience it. It was so amazing, and I'd want to experience that again before I retire.
Given what she's overcome, Lena Nielsen's Olympic bronze is worth its weight in gold. Chris Slegg, BBC London.
To be honest, this is just the cherry on top.
Good luck, Lena. And talking of achieving great things, this year is the 40th birthday of Comic Relief, of going big and giving big.
Hey, bestie. Jo Lums here, and I'm buzzing to tell you Comic Relief is turning 40. I know, Queen, ancient, but its vibes are still immaculate. It's giving having a laugh. It's giving doing some good. So join the party and pop off this Red Nose Day. It's going to be lit. How's that?
Absolutely fabulous.
Slay. Doing good never gets old.
Red Nose Day, Friday the 21st of March. Well, that really suits you, actually.
You too, Octavia. Gorgeous.
Thanks. It's Amelia as well.
Whatever.
Jo Lums. Well, someone taking on a big challenge for Comic Relief in March is former Made in Chelsea star and Radio 1 host Jamie Lang, who joins me. Welcome.
Hi.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
We're talking about daily ultra marathons for a 5-day period.
Yeah.
Ending just in time to cross the finish line on Red Nose Day. So let me ask you this. What were your first words when the idea was floated, unless you suggested it?
Well, my first thoughts were, this is a funny joke. But so I got asked to do this challenge for Comic Relief, and firstly, what an honour, right? It's incredible. As I said, it's so many years, and it's just amazing to be a part of it. And I thought, well, I want to make it quite big. And so the idea
go big or go home.
Go big or go home. So it came back, and the idea is to run from London to Salford. And so it's 5 ultramarathons in 5 days from the 17th of March, starting the 17th of March.
So what's that, about 150 miles-ish?
Yeah, around about that, give or take. And look, I'd only really done a 5K before that. And so I thought, OK, well, I'll start trying. Hence why I'm wearing gym kit right now. I'm just wearing gym kit wherever I go to make sure that I feel like I'm running. But it's amazing.
Now, on social media, it's quite clear that you are into fitness. But this is a huge physical, psychological challenge. How are you feeling about it? How is training going?
Great question. I mean, I had respect for athletes and, big sort of people who do sort of huge challenges. Now I have a huge, I mean, it's crazy. I've been training a lot. My legs are really tired. I just did on the weekend a half marathon. First one I've done. And I am knackered. I'm so exhausted. It's incredible. So training's going amazing, but I feel like the sort of purpose and the idea behind it, that is what's going to keep driving me forward. And I've got to complete it. Even if I have to crawl to the finish line, I'll complete it, hopefully.
Your eyes are saying something else.
I know. I'm trying to convince you and myself that it's going to be okay.
Listen, total respect for taking this on. And as you say, audiences are going to be behind you, your listeners are going to be behind you. But it got me thinking, because one of your best friends, Spencer Matthews, last year took on the 30 marathon in 30 days in the desert. Here he is. So I started wondering, is there a bit of friendly rivalry going on?
Do you know what? I not yet. Well, from my side, there isn't at all. That was incredible. We did 30 marathons in 30 days. I'm doing, this isn't competitive, I'm doing 5 ultramarathons, a little bit more than a marathon, in 5 days. But that was incredible what he did. I mean, it was simply amazing. And it kind of also, those type of things that Spen did and other people done really inspired me to do things, which will be incredible.
And shows, you know, what you can do in terms of endurance. So what has been the best or worst advice you've been given ahead of this challenge?
Oh, the best advice is I had from Russ, who is the hardest geezer. He ran across Africa. Amazing, in 365 days, it was amazing. He said, you've got to just really grit it. He said, the only thing is it's going to hurt, but you've got to find that sort of pain and really channel it.
Are you good with pain?
No, terrible. I'm really bad at pain. So it was good advice. The worst piece of advice I had is, it'll be fine. My friend said, you'll be absolutely fine. Used to run 800 metres. Said, you kidding me? What do you mean I run it? He said, you'll be fine, you'll be able to do it.
OK, well, we have got to follow this, clearly. Where can people get more information?
So you can go onto the BBC website, Comic Relief. It's all on there. And also, link in my bio, you can donate there. And it's all for people, you know, struggling with their mental health. I suffered with anxiety and different things in my 20s, never spoke about it. And so it's about putting one foot in front of the other and really just keep moving when you're feeling in that place. So my motivation's pretty strong. So hopefully it's going to help amazing and huge amount of people. OK, we're a few weeks out from it. You're training for this big, you know, this big challenge. Yeah.
Try not to say big or huge too many times.
It's big. You can say it's big. It's big. It's feeling big.
So just look into the camera and just give a quick message to people watching today.
Oh, OK. So I'm doing 5 ultramarathons in 5 days, starting on the 17th of March. Like I said, I really suffered with anxiety really internally, and I never really spoke about it. So I would love you to get behind this. It goes to some amazing charities and projects around the UK. So please, please donate and please help. It'd be amazing.
OK. Jamie, thanks very much for coming in. And thanks, of course, for doing this huge challenge. I'm sure lots and lots of people are going to be behind it. Thank you. Let me
so much.
shake your hand, because you may not be in any fit state later.
No, I will just stay seated next to
you stay seated now, and I'm going to wander off.
OK, bye.
All right. Jamie Laing there, as he gets ready for his ultra marathons. Now, this May marks 80 years since victory in Europe, VE Day, when the Allies defeated Nazi Germany. And ahead of the 80th anniversary, some of those who lived through and served during the war gathered at the Royal Albert Hall this morning. Our reporter Bhavani Vadi has been hearing their stories.
Exactly 80 years on from VE Day, the Royal Albert Hall will host a special performance, which will also tell the stories of those who lived through the war, like Doreen Simpson.
This is a VE Day party in the White City estate. And there's me just there poking my head out.
The 87-year-old wrote this poem about being a young evacuee.
Crying for home and the things I'd known the day they took me away on a train. The tears still flow, remembering that day they took me away on a train. Everybody should remember what our veterans went through, and also the forgotten ones are the evacuees, because we all had quite a heartbreaking time. My mum had told my brother he had to stay with me, but he was taken away by somebody else, and I was left crying because I was only 4. And this lovely lady chose me. I cannot emphasise how lucky I was.
Spontaneous celebrations broke out on the streets on Victory in Europe Day, when Britain and its allies accepted Nazi Germany's surrender in World War II, ending almost 6 years of fighting in Europe. Ruth Barnwell was involved in preparing the D-Day landings when she served in the Women's Royal Naval Service, known as the Wrens. This is how she found out about the end of the war.
We had a wren. She was in the pantry, and she came out, up arms in the air, saying, "Everybody in the world's celebrating my birthday." So we say, "Are they?" Says, "Why?" And then she told us. So she'd seen it or heard it before we did. But whether she'd been on the bottle after or not, we don't know.
A younger veteran and winner of Traitors Series 2 wants to use his platform to highlight the sacrifices of the wartime generation.
I cherish every single moment I get with the veterans. I was on a date with Ruth last night, who's a 100-year-old Wren. She joined at 17 years old, and she told me everything. You and I wouldn't be stood here today in front of a Spitfire doing this talk if it wasn't for what they gave up, so it's really important.
The show will take audiences back in time to mark a historic moment and thank those who served their country. Bhavani Vadi, BBC London.
Now, it was lovely to see the sun shining as a start to the week. Guess who scooted up to the roof? Kate is there. Tell us more.
It is very cold on the roof. I have to say, it was lovely to see the sun, yes, but unfortunately we're not feeling any warmth up here. We've got this really chilly easterly wind. Now, of course, it's half term this week, so lots of people heading to London to enjoy the sights. You can see behind me the London Eye. But is the weather going to play ball? Well, it has today. We've had all that sunshine. Now, you can see earlier on, we had barely any cloud at all through today down in the southeast. And it's going to stay that way. As you can probably see, we've got clear skies above London at the moment, which is why it is going to be so cold tonight. What we do have is this east-southeasterly breeze bringing in this cold air. We've also got some high cloud moving in. So the minimum temperature, -2 tonight. The breeze keeping the air moving, so not so much in the way of mist and fog, but a frost, yes. So a really chilly start to Tuesday morning. We've got lots of sunshine around. However, remember, we've still got that veil of high cloud too. So the sunshine is going to be hazy, and it's going to stay like that really through much of tomorrow. Now, for tomorrow, we've got this sunshine. It's a dry day. We're looking at temperatures reaching 7 Celsius. But then things start to change. We're going to lose this colder air. Now, it'll still feel chilly overnight Tuesday and into Wednesday. We've got clear skies overnight. The temperature again dropping down to 0, maybe 1 Celsius. So chilly start and a bright start to Wednesday. But if you look at the bigger view of Wednesday, you can see coming in from the south, we've got this front which is moving in, and that for us means we're going to get more cloud. The front itself will start to fizzle out, so might still get a few spots of rain, but it is bringing in some milder air. So by the afternoon on Wednesday, we're looking at temperatures in double figures. So temperatures throughout the rest of this week are slowly getting a little bit milder. Now, as we head into Thursday, it is going to be quite showery. We've got another couple of fronts moving in, but the temperature 13 Celsius. By Friday, we could be seeing temperatures reaching 15 or even 16 Celsius. Back to you.
OK, come back into the warmth. Thanks, Kate. Just before we go, 40 years ago, a certain soap hit our screens. Grab your phone, because why not take our BBC London EastEnders quiz? Have a go. See if you're a true fan. From all of us here, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.